Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Dina and today I'm here with you for another yarn talk video. I would like to apologize in advance if you hear some background noises on this video. This is simply due to my neighbors apparently refurnishing indoors, so they are getting renovations done, and therefore there can sometimes be a little bit of a background noise from machinery running. I don't know what it is about these days, but I have the feeling all my neighbors are renovating. Maybe it's my turn soon. I kind of hope. I do have a few things I would like to get done, but I simply don't have, we don't have the finances to do it. And it's a little bit of a bigger project, so it's an overwhelming thought just to even begin. But we probably eventually need to do something about it. Right now it's postponing because everything we have does work, so we are probably more like saving up some money to actually get it done eventually, but that's a fully other story. We are here to talk yarn, and today I'm as well always with my favorite mug of tea. Oh, not necessarily my favorite tea, but it's definitely my favorite mug. It really fixes many things for me because it keeps my tea lovely warm, especially like when I have these yarn talk videos or at work. If I talk with customers that takes longer than the average, then my tea tends to go cold, and I don't like iced tea. I am a preference of my tea to be warm. Today's tea is a black tea with an orange flavor. So it's not a herbal tea today. It's just nice orange flavor. I'm actually not a big herbal tea drinker. I do drink some. Again, it kind of depends on the tea. But this is just like a nice black tea with an orange flavor. Quite standard, quite plain, but it does what it needs to do. I am going to see my parents this weekend, and a part of me is going to sort out my stash a bit. And a part of this is I've made some decisions for some yarns, but I also have some projects that I am going to bring with me to Denmark to donate to a good cause. My mom is helping at an organization that donates things for the homeless. So people that's homeless in Denmark. Theoretically, you say that you can only be homeless by choice and not by force, but there are people who's basically not easily able to have a home, and there are people that enjoys traveling around as they're homeless, though they are struggling in the winters to keep warm. So part of this is making socks and hats and scarves and so on for them to help keep warmth. I've made some hats, where some I already donated to them last summer. I made a hat since when I got home, and that hat I'm going to donate as well. And we did, I do believe we did have a talk about it. Here it is. It's just and I actually put a tag on saying what material it is and how it can be washed and so on. This is size-wise a little bit too small for my head, so it's a size small / teenager. And it's 100% acrylic and can be washed at 85 degrees basically. So there's a hat that's going home to the donations, and it's just a hat made in bulky yarn, you know, where you start with I do believe at 12 double crochet in a magic ring. You increase double crochets by round, so you do increase by each stitch, then the following round you do increase, and then one double crochet, increase, one double crochet, etc. And then until it's wide enough, you just do double crochets to kind of finish it off. So it's just quite simple, nothing fancy, but it's good enough if you need to get some aid keeping warm. So that's a donation that's going home this weekend. And then we talked about when I made the baby turtle amigurumi, I made a mistake, which caused the shell to become more like a ball shaped thing. So while it's not nicely colored around, I found it really a shame to unravel this because I had everything sewn up. Unraveling this didn't make sense. And this organization not only supports homeless, They also support crisis centers, so where refugees come and get settled until they find out if the refugees can go back home to the country safely or get integrated into the Danish society, but they all stay at a location until it's kind of decided what's going to happen to them. These refugee centers also have children. Children need something to play with. This is a nice soft toy, and it's easily a ball. You can we can throw a bit with it. So I thought that was probably also something that they could use. So these two things are going with me to Denmark for the donation basket. And that's basically it. Then I also have some yarns, some drop yarns, Nord yarns, which are an alpaca sock yarn actually. And I have these 4 skeins in black. And I can't make socks for the life of me. Well, I attempted crochet socks, but I think fundamentally I like knitted socks more. And I do like a good pair of knitted socks to wear, especially when it's cold like now. My mom is good at knitting socks, so I'm gonna ask my mom to knit me probably 2 pairs of socks, maybe. It depends. I do believe I can get 1 sock out of 1 skein, more or less. So I will have her judge. Optionally, she makes 1 pair and she has a bit of leftovers, and she can maybe make a pair of small socks for a child or something like that. But let's talk a little bit about this yarn that I want to have socks from. And there is no rush in these socks because, while I see my mom this weekend, next time I see her, it's kind of past the cold season. So I will first need the socks like next autumn probably. It's classified drop yarn group 8, which is a thin yarn. They recommend 3mm needles / hooks. It's 50 grams, these skeins, so that's 1.75 ounces to 170 meters, so that's 186 yards. The yarn breakdown contents of this is 45% alpaca, 30% polyamide, and 25% wool. And they are really, really soft. Like for sock yarn, this is probably some of the softest sock yarn. Like it's even scarf friendly. I could make scarves from this. But I have so many other yarns right now laying that I decided to part with this for now. And then I can always rebuy if I want to make a scarf out in the future. But for now, I'm going to part with this. This yarn is made in Peru. And we can just show it up. So it's a thin sock yarn, but it's not as thin as some sock yarns. So yeah, I'm gonna bring this with me, and I'm gonna give that to my mom so she can make me some socks. So that's basically one of the things we need to get done. But I've had time to crochet a bit since last. I am working on the Oasis cardigan, which is, I am currently here at the red stitch marker, but I am trying to find the upside down for you guys so you can easier see it. That would be this. And this is where we are at. Again, this is the back panel, worked in the round in 100% merino. And this is the front arms. So basically, this being the back panel, it will probably be something like, let's see if I can actually get it on. This is something like this right now, what you have the idea and feeling of. But again, I need to add arms and I need to add a bit more rounds for the front part. And then I can start on the arms. Right now, I'm just still adding to the circle. I'm going to show you sort of rough pattern here. There are more diagrams, but this is the diagram that I'm following right now. When I get up here, I basically repeat from down here. So this piece of double crochets is the same as these double crochets. And then I just repeat from here for the pattern. And down here is basically, I'm still working on this circle and we're working in the round and the round. And you can see kind of what's below the arms is what I tried to show you just before. I have debated how much of this I am going to add. I might actually just do the arms first and then see if I feel it's needed or not. Or how much is needed. So that's basically what's going on right now. I'm still working on this circle. And I'm not sure how many rounds I need. I am a few repeats away from the current. Let's see. I need at least two or three more rounds before I can measure the width to see if I need to add another repeat and how many. But I still have quite some distance to go. This is what I'm currently having here for this game. But the yarn I am using is this Drops Baby Merino mix, which is 100% merino wool, and it's also a fine yarn. I am using a 3mm crochet hook for the project. And at 50 grams, again 1.75 ounces, we have 175 meters of yarn, which is 191 yards. So this yarn is slight, so ever thinner than the sock yarn. And the sock yarn, I could actually imagine making a scarf of it. I just don't have a specific scarf plan for it, so therefore I'm leaving it where it is, and I'm gonna have socks made from it. That's just how it is right now. But this is actually a very lovely soft yarn. It's a nice soft merino. Though don't frock it too often. After about 3 or 4 times frocking, it starts to really like slowly split up. You can see how the wounds together are kind of parting up and so on. But so far it's showed itself remarkably nice to work with, and I hope this is going to be a really nice and warm cardigan. In a slight different way than you normally tend to see cardigans. Yeah, I'm really looking forward, obviously, to the final piece. So yeah, you can barely see it, but eventually once it's done, I will make sure that we have photos, and I will maybe even see if I can get it all shown here on the screen by taking it on and getting out of my chair. But right now it's not even close to finished, and I do have a lot of ends I need to weave in. So you might have noticed the ends I've not woven in yet, because if I weave in ends already now and I make a mistake, it's going to be a pain to unravel. So I've sort of decided, because I'm still not 100% sure on the pattern and how everything progresses and proceeds, I've basically chosen to not weave in the ends to make it easier for me if I should need to unravel it. That's the fundamental reason. If it's a project where I pretty much know how everything goes back and forth, and I have no doubts, I will weave in the ends as I go, but only until I'm sure that there is no mistakes until like X rounds in. Like, you know, I will do probably a round or two to make sure there's absolutely no mistakes that would require me to unravel it. I guess this is due to when I do weave in ends, I do it very well. Like, there is no doubt on how and what. On that note, I have progressed on my poncho. And that is the poncho, that's the inlines poncho. So, of course, the cardigan I just spoke about is the Oasis cardigan by Drops Design. Links to all of these projects are in the description box down below for your reference, should you be interested and inspired to make some your own. But I am absolutely working nicely on my poncho here. You can see the opening for the head gap and the points here. I did finish a round, so I am currently about to start a new row. And I just halfway through this row changed color, and you can really nicely see how we are going from this to a lighter and lighter blue. And also, of course, if I take the cake here, which is this alpaca cake, which is a flowers alpaca from Yarnart. And this cake originally looked like this. This is the original one. This is what's left, and it's so very soft. There's not much to say about this except it's gorgeous. Yarn Art Flowers Alpaca. And let's talk a little bit about specs. It's 20% alpaca and 80% acrylics. It's 250 grams, that's 8.8 ounces to 940 meters, which is 1,027 yards. I need both cakes to finish up this, and honestly, when I'm sitting with it right now, I'm wondering if I would need 2.5. Of course, it all depends on the size you're gonna be making. It's a colorway 409 from Alpaca, the Flowers Alpaca. That said, you could also use Hobby's Wheel of Alpaca. They do have the same colors as this one, but they are more expensive. I think I even believe it's the same company and the same yarn, just different label, but that is what it is. It can be hand washed at 85 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's 30 degrees Celsius. It can be dry cleaned, it can be ironed at low, and you should lay flat to dry. Do not tumble dry it and do not bleach. It's considered a fine weight yarn, and they recommend a 3.5mm crochet hook. Actually, I'm using a 5mm for this project, and they say 1 is enough for a shawl and 2 for a sweater. That's basically the specs here of this yarn. I'm just gonna put this a little bit back into. I do really like this blue though. It's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. So what I'm basically doing is, now I'm about to start a new round, and to start a new round, I will start by chaining 2, and then I will work in a double crochet in this small gap you can see up here. Then I will chain 2 and work in 2 double crochet still in the same gap. Then I will start by a front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post, and that is what's creating this rib effect. And you can also see it as it does stretch a bit if you do it like that. And I do believe a part of this front post, back post is also what causes this 5mm hook to work out really, really nice, even though yarn recommends at 3.5. It is definitely thicker than if you're used to the twister yarns from Hobby. It's definitely a bit thicker than that, but it's not as thick as some of the merinos. But it works up really nice, and maybe it even helps to the drape of things. I am going to just shortly see how it looks, and actually you can see if you compare it to last video, my last yarn talk, that we are slowly covering the shoulders here when I'm having it with a triangular towards the front, so that's nice. An optional is of course also to have it on sideways, and I did have some comments last time that it seemed like a sweater that I was working on, and well, it could be a sweater, I guess. My shirt here underneath is not sitting in a nice way, but it could definitely be a sweater, and you can easily feel the warmth here, and I almost now feel like making a sweater in some sort of similar project, and then eventually just like close the arm gaps, and you can like still continue to work on it like straight down, and that's actually definitely possible. I once made a cardigan as a bit similar concept of this, and it might actually work out. And then of course I will, from the other cake, what is going to happen is that from when I've finished all of this, I'm going to take the inside of this cake to keep working, but the outside of this cake is going to be attached up here and help make like a cowl on it. I can't wait for this one to be done. Again, it's probably a punch I will first be able to use next winter, simply because it takes time to make. And it is my TV/car project, which means that obviously, as I am going to be in a car for this weekend, I am bringing this one with me. And I will have plenty of time to work on it because it is a 9 hours drive back and forth, plus some ferry time and so on. So we have plenty of time. I will drive some of the time, so I won't be able to crochet all the time. It will also maybe not be the lightest of light. And when it's not too light, of course, I can't see either to crochet. That is where maybe the neck lamp could be nice to have. But that's basically what I'm doing with this project, is that I'm using it for when I'm driving distances. Then it's really nice to have and work on, and when I'm watching TV, because the pattern here is so mindless. You do not need to think, you just need to keep cranking out those rounds, and that's really, really nice. So we have a few other things to just quickly discuss before ending this yarn talk video. And that's, my friends, I'm just gonna move this away, is the fact that I am also having the mosaic blanket that I'm working on. And it's done with OLA mosaic. Jesus, I can't pronounce. This is a blanket designed by Anke Wintermans, who's a Dutch OLA mosaic designer, and it's the blanket named A Fleur, and it's used the Stylecraft Special DK yarns. So this is the labels, because I am currently working on it. I have the yarns here in, and I'll take them out as I work with them, because that is easier. I haven't had time to progress on this since last time, plainly because I've had many other things to do, and I'm not sure how much I will have time to progress on this before February. We will have to see. Maybe not this weekend, maybe next weekend I might have time to do a few rounds. But we are here, and we are still at, I do believe it's round 11. Just let me check. It is. I finished round 11. So this is including round 11, which is also how it looked last time. It would be really, really nice if I have time to add a few more rounds. But I don't think I will have time to do that before next yarn talk, simply because there's a few other things I need to get done. But maybe not this weekend, but next weekend I should have time to do a bit more. As I said when I started working on this, is this project, this mosaic blanket, is going to probably take me the whole year, because when I do these, this is the first time I do make OLA mosaic, so I needed to Google lots of information on it, and it really takes focus and make sure that you're on. Though once like I've made the first side, then making the following 3 is easier, because then I've completely grasped it for that repeat. This is how it looks on the back side. I think actually this isn't bad for my first attempt ever at overlay mosaic. I think it's pretty okay. So that is definitely what I'm working on. I can warmly recommend. The pattern has both descriptions, like they have rows for rows how you do it, but it also has the diagrams, the color diagrams. So if you should do one or the other, you have both options. I think that is really, really nice. That is more for those that's obviously familiar with mosaic crochet, because they are also familiar to how the patterns are written. As said, for me, it's the first venture into it, and I may consider making more of it in the future, but this is probably a project I'm expecting that's going to take me a year. And I have a big box of yarn with it. There is no need to sort the yarn, because there is only that, and actually there's 2 types of yarn in that crate. The other yarn is 2 hanks, and I should be able to just easily take those 2 hanks out of the box, and then that box is only for this project. I just take out the yarns as I need them individually as we go on. But that's it. The last few things I wanted to talk to you guys about before ending this yarn talk video is I do have some new project ideas that I want to do. And of course, I forgot to mention, which is now a bit late, I actually got something related to crochet for Christmas. Okay, I get it. We are a month later. It's like a month since Christmas, kind of 4 weeks-ish, almost. But I actually got a crochet book with patterns. And I totally forgot to inform you, but so many things has been, but this is in Danish. I got it from my aunt. She was at a yarn, what are you called? She was at a place where like there's lots of yarn companies coming, yarn exhibition, or maybe I think. where they do crochet and knit and all sorts of fiber arts. And she actually won this in a sort of lottery. She doesn't crochet much, and this is crocheted bags. So this is by an author named Julie Rizom Glabo, which sounds pretty Danish to me. And it says crocheted bags. So inside is a bunch of crochet bags. This is the back side, and it's all in Danish, so I will have to translate a bit. But it says in this book you will find plenty of patterns for many different types of crocheted bags, including clutches, practical shopping nets. So that would be like the market nets, you know, shoppers, and also round or square shoulder bags. Some of the bags are made with beads, so like you add beads on your crochet, and others are added with different tassels and so on to kind of, I guess, help explore. So there is plenty of inspirations to make your personal bags. And I do actually have a bag planned out, not from this necessarily. As you can see, they have plenty of bag examples in this book. And I'm kind of looking forward to explore the book eventually when it's time for me to make my bag, because I have some tape yarn that I got from Ice last year that I want to make a bag from, handbag. I have many projects, but that is also one of the projects I need to get started on this year. I want to start on it this year. Then I found some yarn that I've had laying for a while as well, that I want to use for some gloves. And I did actually enjoy making the dragon skull gloves. Not last year, but the year before. It's almost a year and a half ago. It's crazy how time flies. Also, in just like 2 months' time, I've been crocheting for about 2 years. Again, like since I picked it up. Crazy. But one of the yarns is a yarn I only have one skein of, but I think it's gonna be absolutely amazing for dragon skull gloves. And that is this absolutely freaking gorgeous yarn. And I say it's so wonderful, gorgeous. We talked about this at the live. I went live Monday this week as my very first. I do want to make more lives. I just don't know when I have the opportunity to do them. So my lives are more like going to be pop-up lives. So again, a really good reason for you to be subscribed to this channel and have your notifications turned on, because that is how you kind of can catch me when I do desire to go live with a pop-up. Good pro tip. I think this is an absolutely gorgeous color. I do believe it's called Rio or something like that. It is the Hobby Carnival yarn. So it is 100% premium acrylic. And it's 100 grams skein. So that is 3.5 ounces to 240 meters. So that is 262 yards. It's a roving style yarn. You can also easily see it here. It is definitely roving. There are different thicknesses on the yarn throughout. It's classified as a lightweight 3 yarn, so a 3-weight yarn, can be washed at 30 degrees, so 85 Fahrenheit. Do not iron, do not tumble dry, do not bleach, but can be dry cleaned. They recommend a 4 to 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. It's produced in Turkey and it's made for hobby, so it's a hobby yarn. And it's, as I said, premium acrylic with its Oeko-Tex branded 100, so it means tested against harmful substances. I think this will make some absolutely gorgeous dragon silk gloves, which is obviously why I'm going to use this yarn for making them. And if I, well, I do succeed because I know how to make them, but I have an idea of how to make them a little bit better. I want to make them a slight bit wider because last time I used the pattern, they were a little bit small. Like they fit, but a bit to the tight side. And I do not have big hands. I have really small hands. My fingers are short, but my hands in general are quite small actually. Like I'm a size small. And if I think they're small, they were probably more like extra small when I was done. And then I have a different idea of how to make the shaft of the glove. So I am going to wing it a little bit. And if that succeeds, I'm going to make a different pair of dragon scale gloves with this yarn, which is the Ambience from a yarn art, but it's also this absolutely gorgeous shiny yarn. I have to say, I do like this a little bit more. It's nice and shiny, but this is not bad either. And the Ambience yarns have very close to the same specs. They are also 100 grams, so 3.5 ounces, but they are 250 meters, so that's 273 yards. So they are like 10 meters longer on the weight. Not much, but they're very, very resembling similar. This is also a 3-weight yarn. It's also rowing. They also recommend a 4mm crochet hook. This one instead can though be washed at 40 degrees, so 104 Fahrenheit, and lay flat to dry. Can be dry cleaned. Do not iron, do not tumble dry, do not bleach. I would need 5 of these for a sweater. I'm not making a sweater though. It's made in Turkey and it's a colorway 153. Obviously, I want to make gloves because I think I like dragon scales. I like dragons actually. Fantasy. So that's what I want to make of these yarns. Again, this is also one of these projects. I just don't know when I will have the time to get started. Probably not this weekend. Maybe I'll start something next week. It's not 100% sure yet. But then we talked about it because eventually I will start, and then I'm like, but we didn't talk about it. So now I talked about it because then I haven't forgotten. I think we covered everything this time around. As I said, don't forget to be subscribed because, hey, lots of good things are happening on the channel here. Right now we have an active running giveaway that is inspired by lavender and purple. And that is, I'm going to link that at the very end of this video. That giveaway is running until next week, Wednesday at 8:30 Central European Time. Do enter and make sure you are subscribed because it is required to be subscribed to participate and to be eligible to win this prize. Lovely free yarn with some absolutely awesome cake yarn, soft cake yarn, awesome yarn. It's really light, lovely, colorful compared to the time of the year. Also, on Monday, I will be back with a new yarn haul video. This yarn haul video will be from Tweedehands Woolwinkel, which is a small store here in the Netherlands. So it's actually a small local store who also have a web store. It's unfortunately nowhere close to where I live, else I would have brought you guys along. But for me, that would be like a good 2 hours drive to get there. That said, that yarn haul contains some absolutely lovely, gorgeous Lana Grossa yarns. Look forward for that. For me, those are, again, new yarns, and new yarns is always something that really entices me when I unbox them. And then, of course, yeah, Wednesday I'll draw the winner for the giveaway, and Friday I'll be back with a new yarn talk video. Until I see you then, I hope that you stay healthy and you enjoy your crafts. So yeah, happy crafting and take care. Goodbye.